Okay, and this next video is going to be a bit here and there all over the place because I'm doing this from memory and I never wanted to script these videos. This is just literally me talking into the camera, and what comes out my mouth is what I say. So I'm not scripting any of this. I'm recalling this in my mind at a time that I was in a lot of pain. I wasn't going to the toilet and I started to gain in weight a lot. This is where the Jekyll and Hyde bit also originated. It was Jekyll and Hyde was so I don't feel pain the way that other people might feel pain, and I'm sure other people have this as well. That my pain manifests itself in irritation. That I will start. My personality will change to one of I'm snapping at everybody for nothing. So if the dog looks at me in the wrong way, I'm snapping at the dog. The kids would get snapped at. Belinda got by far the worst of it. But then we quickly realised if Belinda gave me my painkillers and tablets, then I would snap back into the room after about 15 minutes and end up apologising to everybody. So the running joke was, when my personality changed, Belinda knew as I was in pain. So she said, "Rob, take your pills." So anyway, that's what the Jekyll and Hyde thing is. But this bit's all of a bit of a blur. So I can remember it in my head. I just can't remember the sequence of it in my head because we'd been to see a doctor that had been recommended by the Manchester in Oadby. Nice guy, but it was just basically straight after all the operations and stuff. So he wanted to let everything settle down before we had a look what we wanted to do next and stuff like that. Plus, we're still waiting for all the results to come back. From the biopsy from the tumours that they took. So it's all early days at the moment. This is all very fresh, and I'm still not at work yet. I'm still off work. But this particular night, it was a dual appointment. So Belinda was, we were both going to the same doctors. Belinda's appointment was first, then it was mine. So it took me about half an hour, 45 minutes to get ready. I had no strength in me whatsoever, and everything hurt. Going to the shower hurt, trying to stand up hurt, trying to put clothes on hurt. It was, you take for granted putting on a pair of trousers, and I'm only putting on tracksuit bottoms, and it just hurt. And your motivation to want to do that just completely disappears out the window. But we did it. And I drove to the doctor's in OB, which is about 40 minutes away. Sat down. Belinda went in for her appointment. The ladies behind the counter had noticed that I'd started to slump. I don't remember too much of this night. I remember little bits that phase in and out, and then I got Belinda to fill in some of the others. So Belinda went into her appointment. I sat down, I'm waiting, but I start to slump. I'm starting to sweat through my clothes. I'm really not well. So one of the ladies from reception went over to where Belinda's having her appointment and said, "Look, we think your husband's poorly. Something's not right at the moment, and we're going to get him into a side room." So Belinda quickly finished off her appointment. Everything was okay there, so she's okay, so that's good. And then she came out, and then they moved me into one of the side rooms. I feel like a sideshow freak at the moment because I've got these people around me moving me into a side room. So all the people in the reception room are watching. So they sit me down, and then the doctor that I'd come to see, he came out to have a look at me, and he had noticed on a previous appointment I had an edema. And edema is where you press onto like your leg and it turns white, and you take your finger off, but it stays white. So it could be a form of water retention. I'm not losing water anymore. My body's keeping it, which is why I literally now do look like a walrus. Thanks, Faye. So he said, right, we're going to have to get you into hospital. We can't do this here. We need to get you to the Glenfield Hospital because they specialise in this sort of thing. Okay. Now, we could wait for an ambulance, or if you've got a friend that can take you down there, we could do that instead. So thankfully, I called a friend of mine, Jason, and he rushed over and he took me and Belinda over to the Glenfield Hospital. Now, the pain part of it, now I'll go into that bit in another video. I'll talk to you about pain again. And I've just said I don't feel pain, but I'll tell you about that in the next video. So we're in the Glenfield. I'm put into a room that was disgusting. There was about if anybody's watched Amityville, the scene in the toilet with the vicar and the flies, this is what's now happening. This room is 10,000 bottle flies in this room. I said, there's absolutely jack shit. I'm staying in this room. You've got to be joking. There's no way you could look at that and think that's safe. So we got into another room and they cleared that out. So anyway, they diagnosed me with water retention, and they're going to put me on some tablets to get rid of the water retention, and hopefully it'll go down. But I was in hospital for about 3 days with this, waiting for it to go down, which caused the next problem, which I'll go through into the next video, as the weight started to come off. So yes, this new side effect, is that the right thing? Complication, I'm now retaining water, which is expanding my midriff. So literally, if you roll it, here we go, got it for you. Have you ever watched Willy Wonka? Not the crap Johnny Depp one, the original one with Gene Wilder. There's a bit where Violet turns into a blueberry and she's rolling around the factory. That's me. I'm not blue, but that's me now. I've gained that much weight. I'm pretty sure if you rolled me onto my stomach, you could roll me down the stairs and I'd bounce. That's how I now looked. I've gained so much weight, and I think we easily 21 stone. I think we weighed myself, and it was 21 stone. I seem to recall, but yeah, that's how I now look. I'll tell you what happened in the next video.